Hello and welcome back to Edinburgh. We are at the finals here after a long day of Netrunner. I'm Izzy, she, they.
My name is Andre, he, him.
And we have two really good players here who have been playing incredibly well. I'm so excited. We've got two European players here winning this European World Championship this year. We've got our challenger from the lower bracket. It's Davs. Davs is French, I believe.
Yes.
A member of EA Sports, the testing group, and what's their list today like? Do you know?
Davs has been playing, mind you, coming off the EA Continental Championship, been playing this like tag kill AUCO deck. You're probably pretty familiar with AUCO if you've been playing Netrunner this year. It's been absolutely popping off, and while it's been targeted by at least one big ban list in the last sort of month, we're still here. We're playing two End of the Lines, we're playing two Oppo Research, and the Fork with all the damage that you can put out, and of course, falsely, the neutral 3-1 agenda seems to be taking that Sting slot, and it seems to be converting really quite well for Davs.
And on the other side of the table, from the upper bracket, it's Zomsraft from Sweden, here piloting a Hoshiko deck. Looks very mulchy to me.
Yeah, this deck is really cool. We got to see Zomsraft play an absolute clinic earlier today in the top cut. This is a 51 card deck. It has a bit of asset tech, has a bit of tag tech in it. As much as 51 cards might be less consistent, hopefully the console bling is a bit more consistent to get some card drop, but we are off. Again, Zomsraft is undefeated in the top cut. If Zomsraft takes one game here off Davs, Zomsraft will be the world champion. So Davs has 2 games to claw back, but in a pretty good spot to do that. We're going to open here with a hedge fund, 2 cards on the table.
Who do you think is favored here in this matchup?
Oh, I don't know. I talked to Davs, and Davs doesn't feel super confident about this, but Davs is like very humble. There is some good tech here. So Lago Pranwa Shelter, you have some Gourmands, you have some of that Trash Synergy package with the Solidarity Badge, but some of these cards are 2-ups, they're 1-ups. So we'll see. Again, the Steelskin Scarrings need to hit at the right time. You need to pull down the right threats at the right time, and I don't think we have any actual tag tech and any survivability tech. So outside of Audrey throwing a Steelskin Scarring at instant speed, we don't have any Stone Chips, we don't have no free lunches. First card, Bladderwort. For 3 going down early, we do have a setup card on a Gachapon. I think a lot of the money in this deck comes from Fermenter, so we'll see what's in that machine here, whether we grab that or we grab an early companion to set up.
And we're getting that flip, which is so important for Hoshiko early.
Yeah, you love to touch turn 1, and I think Bladderwort's one of the only cards on the table you need to deal with immediately. A cohort could probably fire once, but no res here means that we're going to go straight into our first draw, second mandatory draw with no AU kill counters to speak of.
In terms of influence, like we're talking about a mult, so we're talking about Simulchip, we're talking about a copy of Illumination.
Yeah, Illumination with Blink is really cool, because if you have any 1-cost or 0-cost cards, they become 0-cost cards, and then you can install off the Blink, so you actually get this like really deep dig. It's only one of, and while Davs is going to draw a card, put 2 on the table, we're going to crack the machine and see what we have. Paladin Puemo is a nice start, and that's probably what we have to go for here. So
those drips of credits just come in so valuable early in the game.
Yes, especially to set up. And this deck, I think, doesn't have that much liquidity, so setting up is going to be where a lot of the money's going to come from.
And 2 strike funds and a Simulchip going back sure makes sense to me.
Devil Charm getting removed, Pinhole. There's 3 in this deck, and it's a very important card. If you don't feel comfortable contesting an early fat John Bautusita, that is a card that protects all servers. So we'll see if Zomsraft grows to regret that, or whether that's just the call. We want to call this deck, make it a bit smaller, already starting with 51 cards.
Yeah, we're on Devil Charm, but we're not on Crew.
No, we're on Chisel. So the Simulchip Chisel loop, again, there's no big ice in this deck, so while Chisel might work slowly on an enemy, you can blow through some stuff with some focused effort, whether it's 3 runs into a Samasamun. It takes some time.
Oh, but we do appreciate options. We do appreciate options for recursion into damage Jinteki.
Yeah. Yeah, this buffer drive too, like people love that as like a damage tech card. And it's more so about being ground out, which I don't think is going to be the name of this matchup.
No, this looks very clearly, you need to survive the big kill turn. It is the burst of damage.
That was Zomsraft thinking, we have that Paladin Puemo credit. You can use that to install non-connection cards. So we're going to start there. That's a 1-of badge in the list. That's super important to get down. If you trash a card, a turn, that's a power counter you can use to either remove a tag or draw a card, both very valuable in the matchup. Dav finding the Fuji on the table. Dav's just putting it. That's going to be 2 damage, our first AUCO counter. But we're up 3 points and the Paladin credit. We'll see what Zom has in the hand. We did see a couple, I think it was Strike Funds shuffled back in, so knowing where those are is a bit of information that's valuable.
We've seen a few games with early Fuji hits, and I have to say it's worked out for the Corp so far.
2 cards we're going to touch. Losing the second Pinhole Threading and the Twinning, which you could set up with a Paladin, but I think maxing multi-axis is not exactly your goal in the
We've
first
got a
couple
second
turns.
one. We don't mind losing it.
I think the third Pinhole is in hand too, and there was a Steelskin Scarring that was missed, unfortunately.
Maybe fortunately if you're saving it for the kill turn.
Yeah, it could be. And we have good money on Davs' side. We're now at threat 3. There's 2 oppos in this list. One could come across as soon as this next turn.
We've got
if
the money
Davs
for
really
it.
wants to. Yeah, the money is good. So Zom needs to decide here. Not getting the Solidarity Badge charge, which is very valuable on the oppo turn. Buys you a whole click little and saves you 2 credits.
2 clicks left. We're feeling pretty safe here.
Yep, 3 cards in hand. What's on the table if you see a Fuji? Trying to get a good read. And it looks like we're going to bite again.
Moon Pool.
So
Trying maybe to score that out. Does that indicate more in hand?
It could easily. This card moves around agendas really valuably. That's 3 credits to get the badge charge. We've already risked oppo research.
Going
so
down
you
to 1 credit to get rid of that. I think that's right to do.
There you go, Fermenter.
And Fermenter coming down, definitely right if you've got the Fermenter in hand.
Yeah, not using the Paladin Puemo credit. That looks like sometimes a mistake, but the idea is with Hoshiko, you're going to lose that credit anyway, so you might as well use it before you lose it. Really kind of cool, thoughtful play. And you see the hand there. Again, see how they run as a big combo card, the 4-2 agenda. Score it, you get a tag and some sort of damage.
And it looks like just putting it right on the table.
Not iced. I don't think we know what that iced card is. But Zom's draft, going to get a card, going to get a couple counters. We'll see how the badge is used, whether you want to save it for the oppo research turn. Again, there's only 2 in this deck, so it might not come out too consistently in the early game. But deciding what to do with that badge counter. Again, the Hoshiko draw came first, I believe, so you have all the information to work with. But Zom, definitely thinking this through.
Is it a missed trigger? Because it's just the draw. There's no tag to remove here.
Correct. So it's your choice, but you don't have to use it, right? Start a turn, you can decide to, like, let's leave that for a rainy day. So thinking. Looks like we're okay here.
Have the cards we need for the turn, I suppose.
Yeah, both players smiling. I think we might be okay. I think we're still deciding whether to use the badge. It's such an interesting decision whether you wanted that tag removal. And so much of the money now is going to be on the Fermenter. Again, there's no way for the corporation to easily purge. I don't believe there's a virus in this list. There's no fly swatters. So if you want to deal...
There is a fly swatter.
Oh, there's 1 fly swatter. Okay, that is interesting if the face jack is going to be a problem. It looks like we will be drawing a card. All right, Devil Charm in hand, I think we just saw off the top. Not super useful in this board state. It's a bit of a 2-card combo here.
In terms of feeding the Solidarity Badge, we're looking at 3 Gourmand to do that.
Yeah, super important for Audrey.
Otherwise, it's spending credits to trash things and trashing your ice. Chisel.
Yeah, Chisel Charm. It's, in this matchup, less necessary. We saw such a great game against Restoring Humanity. And while the hand has more money with another Fermenter here, Zom's draft is going to need liquid credits. And I don't think you're happy popping a Fermenter at 4. Sometimes it's the thing you have to do. We'll see if we take a turn off and hop back into our corporeal, non-digital Hoshiko form.
Absolutely. Now, all the ice is fairly small. Audrey gets through it pretty well. Just a card and the virus counters that you're getting. So, like, yeah, I think you're right that the trashing of the ice is not going to be the super critical thing in this matchup.
Okay. On the table, it wasn't an agenda. It was a bladder ward. Okay, so we have much over for the 4-credit threshold. So that's just going to be a pad campaign-like. Drawing up, we have 2 agendas in it, and we did actually find the fly swatter. If you can force a resin to that, that will throw Zom's draft's economy in massive disarray.
It's really been interesting seeing the evolution of these Ncheki lists, how they're using the bladder wart, where now it's like a lot of times it was ducking down to it by resing assets and just playing the whole game at 2 or 3 credits and just dripping in, spending them immediately. Now it's being like, okay, no, I'm going to go up. The damage doesn't matter every turn. I'm going to play Oppo for 7 credits, and that's going to get me low enough on the turn that it matters. The one turn I'm trying to get that kill.
It matters so much, and if you're happy to pay 7, you have the setups now where you just need enough money for the Mindscaping end-to-line combo, which is what Davs wants to set up. But that Steel Skin in hand, Zom's draft's not going to play that to draw cards. I think we're going to hold it for some insurance. The question is, what is in the remote server? I think it might be the false lead saying, hey, there's not that many ways you get through this piece of ice. Audrey won't do it. You get purged out. So the only way through this ice immediately is a Botulus or a Chisel, and one of those gets ruined by the res of the Fly Swatter.
Yeah, I mean, your face does get you through a lot of this ice if you don't mind what's in there.
So this is the one hard end the run besides, I think, rolling the die. I think there's one diviner if you're looking at your even and odd distributions. Zom's draft is thinking, again, this is an untimed final, so players are definitely going to take the time they think is necessary. They have the lists ahead of them. This is open deck list, so we can decide what the risks we're taking on by challenging this remote. Thinking this through, we do want to touch a card this turn. I'm pretty sure with Hoshiko to go digital, you get that card and a credit. Yuko hasn't fired yet, right?
Just the one counter.
Just one counter.
From that Fuji steal.
And again, this thing does snowball. Once you draw those 2 extra cards a turn, it's easier to get more counters and, the wheels get greased well.
Yeah, so much of the AU Like the question, right, is how do you play that early game in order to get those counters flowing as quickly as possible?
Yes.
And do the cards that you have allow you to do that?
And the face check into an enemy is like one of the things Zomsdraft has to play around, because that's one of the big like kickstarters.
Yeah,
because
immediately
you get
just
three
two
counters. Three even, yeah, right? Let alone knocking 3 cards out of the runner's hand.
Yeah, 1 for the damage, 1 for the trash from HQ, 1 for the damage from the subroutine. Yeah, absolutely. 3 counters.
Fermenter, 4/6. That's gonna
reasonable
be
with the
beginning
second
of our
one
economy.
clicking.
Yeah, you never want to
Especially
be
if
too
we're going to
greedy.
face check and then we're risking the fly swatter.
But I don't know in the hand if we see any way that we can get through ice, whether it's the hard botches. Okay, Audrey. Now that means we can trash the Bladder Ward and challenge, but you will get purged down. Now, this is an AI breaker. It doesn't care of type. And I think perfectly this might be
Is this
the
last
fly
click?
swatter. And I think we have one more. Gonna get the badge, gonna get the Audrey counter. No, that is last click. Top deck, another agenda. It's a longevity. False lead might just be scored out here. We're gonna cash out that powerful neutral agenda that can rob clicks. That's the case. 3-1. We're on the board. Now this card. You're going to have to be careful between your clicks, because at any point in time, if you're between clicks 2 and 3 and you end up hitting a bite, you end up getting a tag from a Phonatria, you can just take the rest of the turn away, and if the runner does not have enough cards in hand, that can easily be lethal.
Yeah, I don't know how well this Jinteki scores out, if at all. The kill plan is very much so first and foremost from my reading of this list.
Yeah, we're not on Regenesis, so like getting to 7 is actually a fair bit difficult. This is more about like pushing forward enough that the runner has to keep up, but they're on the back foot because like respecting false lead, getting Oppo research.
Absolutely.
We can Oppo for 7 now as much as the money is the rate limiting factor.
I do say, like, any Jinteki deck with 3 Moonpool and 3 Cohort Guidance Program, like, that can score out.
Yes.
Uh,
That's a price for 1 credit. Again, another card that works well with Bling. Speaking of Bling, there it is. And we're hitting a Steel Skin. We're going to be drawing a whole bunch of cards here. So you can install a card at -3. And if you install the Blink, it sees itself, I'm pretty sure.
Absolutely. It's the masterwork trick.
The masterwork trick. So deciding here, again, one of these cards will be installed at -3 cost. It can't be an event, so Steel Skin Scarring will just draw cards. So the question is whether you want to go for the little guy, the Gourmand that will eat things, the Botchos to challenge servers, or the Bling to set up hopefully your
Looks
draw
like it's
engine.
the Bling. Get that engine going.
We have Bling at the World Finals in 2025. I didn't expect it. And the Lago on top is a great install, getting you the card draw to keep up with installs both on the corpse side to match tempo. Now, Zomsdraft has more cards in hand than maybe expected. Not a lot of credits to work with, as much as Paladin does. I have 1 to commit.
Now, other than the Moonpool, I don't think many of the kill lines in this list depend on an install on the turn of the kill. So the Lago is a little limited in terms of tech here in a way that often in the kill matchup, the Lago helps more.
Yeah.
Still, having that card draw to power you through the game is absolutely going to be a meaningful difference here.
Yeah, it's more so to keep up. It's not like some other lists we've seen where you have a FUT and you install an advance, a hybrid release to do 3 damage. That's been a winning line against Davs earlier today. And Buffer Drive coming down very expensive, but gives you a bit of this late game recursion as much as it is a recursion card.
And immediately pitching the Steel Skin back to the bottom of the deck, recovering some of that cost on that Buffer Drive install. Very nice.
Yeah, for those not familiar, Audrey's ability to discard cards is an instant paid ability you can do at any window. It doesn't matter if you're not encountering guys, so you can just throw the Strike Fund. Clickless the game too.
It's really huge in this matchup, in fact, because you can pitch that Steel Skin at instant speed even if the first part of the Corpse Kill combo misses that Steel Skin. So you still have that ability. It costs you 1 card overall since...
Yeah, Zomsdraft is set up for this. Really good tech so far. The Badge, the Lagu, the Audrey, as much as I think we've seen 1 Steel Skin so far. 1 is still in hand. And back to Davs here, knocking the AU co-counters is really limiting the amount of draw, let alone the amount of ways you can get stuff in the bin that you care about, whether it's the petty caches, whether you can set up the moon pools easily.
And it's a See How They Run and a Longevity Serum in hand.
That's it.
And a Foot, Diviner Anemone.
Draw up again. We got
finding
a Mindscaping.
There's that first kill piece.
I think we've seen Davs use that for tempo before, just to set up top of the deck, especially with the Spin Doctor. It allows you to get rid of things, but...
The first one seems really worth it.
Yeah. Icing HQ throwing out a Diviner, holding more agendas in hand, and again, Zomsdraft might be just a bit more cautious to face check, because as soon as that an enemy goes through, it's at least 2 AU co-counters, even if you can break the ice. Started turn triggers. Oshiko is in the natural, I believe is the subtype. But we're going to get that Paladin Puemo. The big decision is whether you keep the Solidarity Badge now or you keep it for that, hopefully, a nice way to interact with False Lead into the Oppo.
I have to admit, this might be the first game where the Solidarity Badge has been a major consideration.
Yeah.
Usually it's just, you just take the draw. Why not?
Just take it. Looking in the list here again, 49 Corp cards has got Dabs this far. A field of 360 players. We're down to just 2. I'm not sure if they've matched up earlier so far in the tournament, but Dabs has been playing in this AU Coco list for such a long time. I'm less familiar with Zomdraft as a player, but I know that he's been grinding a fair bit on JNet, testing with some very strong players, and has a lot to show for it. Click 1. Checking archives, we'll see a flip. I think it's just a Diviner. System Gateway
the
code
respect
gate.
is so important. 2 face downs in archives could be lethal so quickly.
What's your read that's in the remote server? I'm not sure whether that is, but it's been on the table for a long time. I don't know if it's a moon pool is my guess.
Moonpool feels right to me. A foot would have been rezzed by now. And it looks like the agendas are both still in hand. My guess is it's a Moonpool.
Devil Charm getting installed for free. Now this means that the Audrey you can charge as ice. Well, I guess the strength doesn't really matter, but making sure to use that Fermenter before we get purged out, which I think Dabs would have maybe considered next turn.
Notably for free by spending the Paladin counter, which is not trigger blend.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always unfortunate. You think the companions are going to help you with Bling, but in no way do they work, because you did actually spend credits. They just came from somewhere else. Zomdraft thinking here.
One thing to point out, a classic malt strategy, the program's in a separate discard pile.
Yeah.
Your second hand to draw from with your simul chip.
It's totally
as necessary.
Worth noting that back in the day, maybe like a decade ago, you had to organize. The order of your archives actually was like enforced. This is so much better. It's so much easier that you can manage it the way that makes sense. All right, conferring with the judges to make sure things are good here. It looks all right.
I think we're just getting the Hoshiko flip credits.
Yeah. I think we're checking. Yeah, archives would be checked here. So Hoshiko should be digital at the end of this turn. It started next. Yeah, I think we're just sorting this out again. There's a team of judges.
And notably, Harmon B, who you can just about see on the right, is taking notes the entire game. So I believe the judges have a pretty good log of exactly what's happening this whole game.
Install to trash. Excuse me, Lagu is going to interrupt this. First install Bling. You could bottom that with buffer drive. You don't always have to. Looks like we're not going to go for that.
I think hit points are less of the question here.
You just need to get to your cards. We have an Ashen. And there's the Fut. Again, I do think there's still maybe one pinhole in hand, but it's the last pinhole. So if you're not going to face check into that ice, and I think that ice actually purges out the Audrey. It's a really well positioned ice.
If it's an overinstall, I think it might have been the bite in the remote.
Oh, yeah, remote bite makes sense.
We've got 2 of them.
Yeah. Unless there's an agenda that's been on the table and you install with a moon pool or spin dock, but yeah, very interesting overinstall. And this deck has 2 bites in it, which really matter, especially with false lead. Hostra, looks like we're still chilling on the Solidarity badge. It's been a turn already, and we've drawn every single copy of Bling. So the console is good. We have an extra Paladin. We do have the Chisel. If you want to do the Chisel Charm trick, which you can, if you want to challenge any server here, you're guaranteed to get in, as much as an enemy might do some damage on the way. No Ayugo counters.
Yes, it's still no AU counters. It's just careful play on the runner, not making runs that result in them.
Blank ID, and Davs loves that forward pressure to put cards on the table. We saw a game a couple rounds ago where Davs had to discard Kikai discarded like 5 cards from hand at the end of the turn. Cohort, Ayuko.
Yeah, absolutely. No, like, and Hansei review off the top totally changes the game here.
Yeah, just turning that ability on. Chisel gonna come down?
Yeah, we got to take the foot down, or it's so hard to interact anywhere else.
Yeah. So we might not res that, just pin the Chisel down for free, might as well. And Fut coming down for 3 credits. It's going to be another badge, another Audrey virus counter. 7 credits left for Zomdraft there. Davs still on 1 point, and we have to watch out. This is the window in theory. Now, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but this is where you have to ask, do you want a false lead? And the answer here is no. And at some point, Davs can find the Oppo, pay the 7, which, again, that Hansei you talked about. Massively important if we ever find one. Click 3 checking this remote server that was over-installed.
Which is another reason, like, the ice might not get rezzed. Oh, it's the Anemone. That's absolutely 100% worth the res.
This is going to be great. There's going to be 2 counters. Ayuko should fire next turn.
It's going to be 3 counters. Audrey can break the supper team.
Yeah. We'll see if it's worth it. Probably is for the counter. So 2 damage here, hitting.
Ooh, a simul chip going.
That's going to be bottomed. First card trash this turn. That's the last pinhole threading, but simul chip is now on the bottom of the deck.
Better than the bin, but not by much.
Yeah. So now it's either do you want to spend the Audrey counter and a card of your choice, or just take the net damage to give an Ayuko counter. And I think the AU counter is probably worth a lot. So we're going to use Audrey, boost the strength, throw out the second Paladin.
Of course, with Lagu on the board against Ayuko with a ton of assets, I expect we can get to the bottom of that deck pretty quickly.
Moonpool has been seen, one of the very powerful cards. Not only recursion, not only fast advance. Going to be trashed for 3 credits. Still have every single spin doctor. This deck has a lot of recursion, as much as Moonpools is a bit more limited. Salmadraft spending a lot of credits this turn. Again, if you don't simulchip back a Fermenter, this deck doesn't have a lot of burst economy, so you can find yourself in an awkward situation if you are on the wrong side of an Oppo research.
And it's very easy to get caught in a spot where you have to keep running, you have to keep losing those credits to Hoshiko every turn, every turn.
All right, Ayuko finally fired the text blocks here. You can spend 2 power counters at the start of your turn to look at the top 3 cards of R&D. Trash 1, draw 2. Now, the ordinal number of which card you trash, that is public information. So if the top card was known by Zomsdraft, you have to say I trashed the first card, for instance. But this is all unknown. And now the bin can fill up. We can get deeper into the deck, find those Hanseis, find those petty caches. Put things on the table. Lagu. We're going to throw out the chisel. I like this. Sometimes you want the chisel in the archive so you can simulchip it, but this one's going on the bottom of the deck.
It looks like a Botulus off the top into the hand.
2 cards on the table behind both servers. One of them chisel pinned down. We'll see if you want to just tank your way through the enemy or just break it for a card. Cookbook showing up. Very valuable card. This deck doesn't have too many ice with 2 Separtines, which makes the Botchus a bit better, but
it does make simulchipping back your Fermenters that much better, that much faster. It's a little bit more bursty.
You can flicker the Audrey too when you're ever purged out. Super valuable.
Absolutely. It is remarkably hard to lock a mulch out of the server.
Yeah, it is. It is. And this deck, like, the multi-axis is a bit more limited, so we're going to be playing table Netrunner for a while, trying to control the board. Maybe we'll see one of the 220s. I think we might have lost one in the early game.
One in the bin, for sure.
Soms are finally using one of the Solidarity Badge to draw a card, keeping 1 again, just as an insurance policy. Click 1, checking the Chisel remote. We have 3 credits of trash with no Gourmand showing up just yet. Agendas in Davs' hand for sure. That's a Spin Doctor Res to draw 2. More points in hand.
Very nice. I believe that's a Brindle Mold alt art.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Brindle Mold's here. Looks like we're going to trash that for 2, so we're going to stay digital, get all our counters here. Dav's not using that for the recursion, so there's still 1 unknown on the table. I'm not sure if you need to run this card. We only have 1 credit to trash with. If it's a FUD, probably be rezzed. That's expensive. Bladderwort's expensive as well.
Hard to say we really need to trash it. We've gotten our trash triggers. Ooh, Gourmand. That makes it much easier.
Checking for false lead, I think. Looks like we're good. Gourmand eats anything. Pushes you forward at the same time.
Almost anything. Not agendas.
Not agendas, you're right. That sometimes really does matter in the matchup.
It's so critical here. Like,
looks like we're going through that enemy. Audrey for that bling. We're going to use that virus counter. Let's see what's in here. We only have 1 credit, but the Gourmand again doesn't mind. Second spin.
Doctor. That's 2 out.
That makes sense. This one will be chased out, probably putting back a spin. Might be agendas in the bin now. Again, we just saw the Ayuko turn, and then there becomes that sort of power turn where 2 cards on the table. We're making complexity.
Absolutely. Can you read the die on Ayuko? I can't tell how many are left.
I think it's just 1. Good old ANRPC metal die, or maybe that's the old one from Nationals or Worlds last year. There's some nice metal dies. We're going to go for the cutback here again. Points. Look on the score here. It's only 4 points so far, and we are a couple
but how
turns
many in hand? I see a false lead, a longevity, the see how they run, another see how they run.
The more Ayuko draws, the more the agendas come up, and while they do end up in archives for many different reasons, you have to do the math here. Not that Zomsdraft wants to pivot, but Cookbook coming down again, trying to duck that last credit. The Paladin Poemo is there, but Hoshiko cannot spend what she does not have. So we got a petty cache, I think. Yeah, removed from the game. Nice alt-art, gained 2 credits to start a turn that came from archives from face down. Lagu fires. Going to consider getting access to Botchus, but that will just return to the bottom of the deck, drawing into another chisel, I think.
Looked like.
Oh, Moonpool.
This fixes the hand.
I think this is a longevity, and this Moonpool also gives you a counter, which is quite powerful to get the Ayuko to 2. We discarded a card from hand. Second false lead would really open the game up. I think it's an angle Davs has, shuffling back 5 points of Fuji and to see how they run. Third advancement here has to be false lead. This is big for Davs. Davs now can forfeit both of these and say, Zomdraft, you have no turn. Now, limiting is the money, that is for sure. For this combo, you're going to need you need 7 for the Oppo, you need about 5 more for the kill. So we have some work to do, but
still, there's a lot of money in the deck. All the Hanseis are still in there.
More petty caches as well.
And Mindscaping gets you some money if you need it in a pinch, as well as finding you those other pieces.
Yeah, Zomdraft dying up with the badge. Again, we have no hard tag tech besides that 1 Solidarity badge, so we can maybe start our next turn with 3 tags, but that's not enough. It's all about where are the steel skins. And I think we know one's been in hand for, I think, since turn 1, dodging damage. Ayuko will fire next turn with 2 counters waiting. This deck has no Hana, but is still pretty good at checking those assets. We'll see if Zomdraft wants to take the turn off here to recover with Hoshiko. No real threats on the table, as much as the agenda density on Centrals has to be relatively high.
Yeah, Mulcher misses Imp for managing those assets, especially with Simulchip, but Gourmand does a pretty good impression.
The little guy's not a virus. Only 1 trash, no matter how you slice it. Thinking this through. Davs relaxing on his arm. Again, it's been a long day for both these players. Zomdraft has been off for a couple rounds, waiting for the chase bracket to catch up, but Davs has been in the middle of it for a while now. Checking HQ again, 2 credits is not threatening any terrifying ice.
It's certainly the advantage to winning the upper bracket.
So I do think there's some points in here. Longevity at a minimum. Seeing end of the line.
Foil, that's a featuring Bridgman, and we're Gourmanding it. That's a very nice hit for the Gourmand.
I think that's MJP, who's here in Top Cut 16. I think Bridgman's on the other one.
You're so
the Urban,
correct.
yeah.
Yes,
I think it's MJP.
Bridgman on the Urban. This is MJP.
There, that's huge. That's going to be money coming in again. We have bottomed out here. This again is a Bling deck, not a Keiko deck, and there's a lot of money we're leaving on the table. Bling has only triggered a couple times, but it's doing well for Zomdraft so far today. Speaking of doing well, we'll have another trigger here. You can Bling off of the install of the Gachapon. It looks like we don't want to. It's optional. Don't have a click left to install what would comes off the top. Ayuko, 3 cards.
A piece of ice. I didn't see what hit the bin.
On 2 credits, that's actually a really big break point because you can't play petty cash from the bin. You have to do it before you spend any clicks, and that does cost 3. So Davs needs to assemble the combo. Lost the end of line to the Gourmand. Very important. This deck has 2.
Interesting putting it behind the Chisel.
Yeah.
Cost an Audrey counter to go through the enemy.
Yeah, it looks like
it's nothing, very little to go through the Chisel.
Just going to put 2 cards on the table. One of them looks like it's a foot. Just saying, hey, you're going to need money to deal with this. Whether you want to simulchip a Gourmand, whether you want to simulchip right now to go get a Fermenter seems really expensive. Trashing your board. Not firing the Gachapon.
At 2 credits, we can res a Fly Swatter. Fly Swatter, we can res a Diviner, but the Diviner's in the bin, so it's just Fly Swatter.
Yeah, this list, does it have Tattoo Bolas in it, or are we just on some Asamoons?
No Tattoo Bolas, just some Axamoon.
Zom thinking this through. If you look at the hand there, only 1 agenda. Has done well to manage the hand, and a foil bite from Worlds Edinburgh 2025. Just got that a couple days ago, but 4 credits is a lot for as much as net damage and tag is exactly what Davs wants to deliver in this matchup.
And for those of us keeping track of the Steel Skins and the Strike Funds, we've got all of the Strike Funds, 1 of them on the bottom, and there's 1 of the Steel Skins out in the bin, 2 left.
Yeah, I think 1's been in hand since turn 1, which I think Zomdraft's really appreciating.
That's where you want it.
Yeah, you mentioned that panic ability with Audrey. You can say, okay, before you try and combo me, I'm going to draw 2 cards to make sure you can't miss it. Going to pop the Fermenter, challenge the remote server, keep the money credits, keep the money busy. 3 credits to trash that. Going to get both of our counters here.
Zomdraft just has a very clear idea of exactly which pieces need to come down.
Yeah.
Doing a very nice job of controlling the board.
Now, Oppos haven't shown up yet, but Davs also needs the 7 credits plus the combo. And it's whether the Zomdraft can get the disruption up.
Honestly, you can do a little Oppo here because you've got the 2 false leads.
Yeah, small Oppo's good enough. You're right. Yeah, this can actually be a fair bit cheaper. You can do, I think, a 7 credit combo at a minimum. You can start your turn on 5 and get there. Cohort, trash for 2 more. Zomdraft's money also going down equally. We have drained our 3rd Fermenter of the game, I want to say. We'll see if you would just simulchip it back at the end of the turn, or whether you want to use your simulchip for a different toolbox.
It's hard to let a cohort stay up, though. It's worth bottoming out to take that down.
For sure. Back to 0 Ayuko counter as Davs not allowed to play that much with the ability so far this game.
What's it fired now? Twice? 3 times?
Sounds like 3 times is right. Zomdraft thinking this one through.
Enough cards in hand. Going to
I think we're just looking at face-ups.
Archives, not making their own.
So Hoshiko is digital. You want to try and spend that last credit if you can, and Zomdraft's been really good at doing that. But again, not on big money here. Davs needs some more combo pieces. Would love the Ayuko ability. 2 Oppo researches just in this deck. We've seen a lot of these sorts of decks in the last couple months that were playing like 3 Oppos, 1 end of line, hoping to find their end of line mindscaping, but always having the Oppo. This is kind of the midpoint, which is fascinating. Checking HQ. 1 agenda in there. I think it's the 2nd card. Let's see what the die says, or just Zomdraft's hand founding it. 2 points. We're on game point 5. to 2. Zomdraft now knows that he can just send it centrals if things get dicey and have a chance of touching any of the see how they runs, let alone the last Fujis.
Yeah, there are 5 hits left in the deck, I think, that win the game here. Plus,
Are we throwing out Illumination? We're not playing it. We're throwing it out. 3 influence spend.
hard to drop that many cards out of hand in a turn.
Yes. Yeah, but so cool with Bling. And there we go. End of turn. We're going to be bringing back this Fermenter because we trashed a program, the first Fermenter, and they'll come in with 2 counters because of the cookbook. Top of the deck, an enemy. Good draw if you want to get your Ayuko counters. Mindscaping. Just to carve the hand, get some money. We're up 2 credits. Going to put a card back on top of the deck. It's, you know, you're going to draw next turn, but it keeps R&D quite safe, which is quite nice. And so now I think all the agendas in R&D. I don't think the hand has any unless it was just drawn off the mandatory or the Mindscaping.
I didn't see one.
Yeah.
Mindscaping's so fun. It's like borrowing your draw from next turn.
Yeah. Popping here. It's the Gachapon. 2 prices on do it. Strike Fund will fire here. The Ashen is gone. But it looks like the only thing we install here is the Gourmand, which in terms of pressure, getting combo cards out of the hand, Zomdraft really likes that Gourmand here. We'll see if we fire the Blink. I think we can remove a price, and Audrey from the game and shuffle the rest back.
Yeah, so often it's like we're talking about what is basically an asset matchup, and so often Gourmand just helps you like keep the credit cost down. But here with those kill pieces, it's really nice to have something to pull those right out of the hand.
Exactly. Keep you pushing forward too. This could fire the Bling. I'd love to see it, but I don't know if Zomdraft needs more cards out of the deck that quickly.
With all our clicks left, oh, maybe this was end of turn to
Yep.
get that extra counter.
Exactly.
In which case, you definitely don't want to. I don't know the text on Bling.
It stays until your end of your turn.
Perfect.
Yeah. So you have a whole turn to decide what to do with the newly acquired goods. Fermenter on 6. Paladin, I believe she's on maybe 3. Looks like 3. So we can install most things here. Going to get the badge charge too. Bottomed out on credits, so I don't know if we can pop the Fermenter right away. Davs, I think, has credits for the combo. The question is, where is the Oppo research? And how many steel skins does Zom have in hand? Now with only 2 tags, the most damage you can do is 8, but you need every end of the line for that, and 1's in the bin right now. If you want to do Mindscaping end of line, I think 2 Mindscapings are spoken for. That only does 7 damage, which a single steel skin.
And Zomdraft is certainly very aware here of when that combo is live, knowing that Oppo requires a trash or steal in order to go live.
And one of those is likely just to end the game if you steal. So the trash is the thing I think Zomdraft has to be careful about. 2 players here. We are about, I want to say 19 to 20 rounds in of Netrunner across this weekend. High stakes standard, taking their time to figure the way out of this. Davs trying to summon the combo line while Zomdraft is looking at a hand of maybe 9 cards. A bunch of irises. Trying to figure out the right line out here that doesn't end in a flat line.
There is quite the crowd here watching in the room, and I'm sure even in a larger one over in the second room watching on the big screen.
Oh, no way. Thinking about the options here. Hoshiko is going to say flip. In theory, you can take a turn off here if you want to, but we're going to start by checking archives. Face downs in here. None of them can be recurred. We'll see.
Oh, it's the...
That's it. 2 points in the bin. Zomdraft is our 2025 world champion. Well played to both players. Just hiding it there, spending some time. Click, check the archives. Want to keep the hand clean there. Zomdraft goes undefeated in this top cut of incredibly competitive players. We have a 51 card Hoshiko Bling deck taking down Worlds.
What clean piloting on display
Super
here from
clean.
both players.
Yes. Phenomenal play from both players. On the other side, it was an Epiphany deck that took it?
Yeah,
I
it
don't think we
was.
saw too much of it on stream.
We saw the final game of the upper bracket final was that Epiphany game. We saw that do its thing so beautifully demonstrated for us.
Heck yes. We have a 2025 world champion. We're going to have a lot of shuffling outside right now. I believe we're going to be able to have the prize reveal to our world champion just on camera in a second. After that, we'll be having an interview. I'm very excited to talk to Zomdraft. I'm not very familiar with Zomdraft, but a very, very strong player who's been brewing some interesting lists.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy. All the way here from Sweden. Glad to have a European champion, someone on their home turf taking it this year. So
exciting top cut. Again, we had 16 players today for the top cut. I believe all 16 players were not present in the top 16 last year, so a totally fresh cut. A lot of these players, it was their first top cut. It
was a lot of familiar names too, though. It was
A very, very exciting and a meta that I don't know if this is exactly predicted to be the outcome, but you saw the power decks across both sides of the table, and the Epiphany and Hoshiko takes it.
I certainly saw NBN's share of the meta, and I saw the ban list and how that hit NBN, and NBN was not my pick for the top cut, not my pick for getting to the end of the winner's bracket, not my pick for taking the whole thing.
Yeah, I want to see more of that Epiphany list for sure, but I think we got Hoshiko one more time at Worlds, which I think I'm excited to see more Anik for sure, especially the mulch type Anik.
You know, if it's going to be Hoshiko, I'm so glad it's this one.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think we saw dolls in sight. Oh, it's been a bit since we've seen dolls on camera.
It's been a minute. They seem to have been pushed out a little bit as we get further into it. I know there's so many different ways the Corp can tech against those dolls, and we've seen a lot of them. We've seen different includes in the runner decks to try to counterbalance that, whether you're bringing in your Unity to deal with the VSA, whether you're bringing in the Hush to deal with a couple of these pieces, whether you're bringing in something to deal with Hagen. But at the same time, it's like, you know, in terms of like in a criminal deck, Reg Breakers and Chesva gets very efficient very quickly. It seemed very good today. In terms of the Hoshiko deck, like we're seeing Audrey do the work right now.
Yes. And you know what? The same tech that deals with the dolls is what's dealing with Audrey as well. And we saw like Chisel Charm immediately to delete hammers, like the sort of respect,
absolutely.
The ways that you need to deal with this sort of tech.
Yeah, this is a world that was really defined by like tech and counter tech in so many ways. Like so many of the matchups came down to like watching the tag kill combo games, trying to figure out how do I deal with the fact that the runner has 2 no free lunches and a stone chip chart room on play, and then I get rid of those, and then they install the class act.
Yes, yeah.
It's been
very exciting finishes squeaking through the line. Shout out also to Davs, who's had such a phenomenal year of Netrunner, playing this Ayuko tag list just to the highest level. If I'm not mistaken, I ran into Davs at Barcelona World Championship just 2 years ago, and I think that was the first event that he came out to. So within 2 years, you know, showing up again, just bubbling out the cut even back in 2023. Absolutely stellar finish for both players.
Huge shout out to these players. It's been really an incredible weekend. In addition to our main event, we've had so many side events. We are throwing it now, though, over to Jeff for the prizes.
2 long days among a field of 360 players representing over 29 different countries. Your 2025 Netrunner World Champion is Zomsdraft. All right, one more round of applause, please. All right, y'all have heard too much from me already for over the last several days. So I just want to say thank you, everyone, for coming out. I want to say thank you to all the amazing volunteers who have made this day possible. I want to say thank you to Dovecot. And, I mean, honestly, again, thank you to the entire community. You all are amazing. This has been such an amazing weekend. Thank you, everyone. I think that's it. Thanks, everyone.
Fantastic. Zomdraft seems, a bit taken back, maybe not expecting this. Again, I don't think I talked to anybody today, maybe one person. If you ask them, hey, this is Worlds, you're up today this weekend, are you going to win it? So many people I talked to said, no, I'm not confident. I don't know what's going on.
I don't think anyone's confident about winning a field of 400 plus people, almost 400 people.
I don't know. I've talked to people before at massive events who were like, yeah, this is my day. I can do it. I think there was so much, I would say, uncertainty, especially on the corp side. I'm really interested to see from Zomdraft if this was the called shot and if this is what the expectation was just, 48 hours ago.
Yeah, I do believe in just a minute here we're going to get him for an interview.
Yeah, perfect. I don't know if we're going to throw to a break a bit. There's a lot of people outside right now. We are, again, at the Dovecot Studios. We've been here all weekend. This is a Tapestry studio. It's been around since 1912. It's such a phenomenal
What an
venue.
incredible venue. And to be surrounded by so much great art, especially upstairs in the balcony, it's really been a treat to be here.
Perfect. I believe we got a thumbs up. We might be trying to get an interview in, so just bear with us for one moment as we make sure things are working out on our side. I think we might be getting an interview shortly, but yeah, the energy outside is really quite exciting. Oh man. Did you do Bet Runner this year?
I did not.
Me neither. I never like to do it. It makes me so nervous. But I wonder if there was a $1 pick that's cashed in really well this year.
I certainly hope so.
That's so cool. I'm really excited. Yeah, we're gonna take some moments, I think, to cool down. There's probably a lot of excitement outside as the Zomdrap probably catches breath.
It is bustling out there, watching what's going on.
Okay, we're gonna throw to a quick break, and we'll be back with an interview. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the 2025 World Championship in Netrunner.
And congrats again to Zomdraft.
Welcome back. We have just concluded the Netrunner World's 2025 Championship, and we have our champion with us. Zomdraft, how's it going?
It's going great. It's a surreal experience, truly, to sit here as the world champion. I never expected this when I entered the tournament.
What are your expectations? Because this weekend we had 360 players. This is the biggest NSG Worlds, basically the biggest Worlds nearly of all time.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts going into this event?
I had great confidence in my decks going in. So I maybe didn't practice as much as I would have liked. Strange to say on this side, but that's the truth. But I felt good. I felt good about my play. I was definitely aiming for top cut as going in, but I took one game at a time, getting into first, it was getting into day 2, then it was getting into top cut, and then it was, in the top cut, I just stopped thinking about the future
You didn't lose a game.
No. That's insane.
Absolutely wild. So, your background, so you come from Sweden.
Yes.
I know you're not part of a testing group, is that true? Okay, you don't have to say anything. I know you test online with some really, really strong players.
Yeah.
How do you prepare for Worlds? Do you have like a gamut of decks you expect to be here and you're targeting that, or you just grind reps with what you think is good?
I grind reps with what I think is good. Like we had, going in, we had this Anarch, which I played, which we call Vampire. That was like, I knew about the deck for a couple of months, and I knew I needed to get really, really good at it before I dared play it in a tournament. So it was grinding that a lot. That was a big part. And then the Epiphany, which Minstrel took to a really high placement at...
the Showdown? Just
Showdown,
earlier?
exactly. So that's exactly my kind of deck, this MBN asset spam. I loved playing it when it was NEH, and I've been looking for something similar in Elevation, and I found it, and I really liked it. So I decided probably 3 weeks before going here what decks I was going to play.
And you locked in.
I locked in.
Okay.
I was like, I'm not going to change.
You never wavered. You never got any sort of bad testing data. You're like, we should really go Sable or whatever.
No. Honestly, it was like a little bit of thinking about Shaper. But I was like, no, this Vampire Hosh is way too good.
So what can you say about this deck? Firstly, where does the name come from?
It's sucking the life force out of your opponent. They're the will to play. They're gonna no fun allowed. We're gonna trash everything. That's the name.
Why did you end up with this against this meta? So the deck is a bit unconventional in a lot of ways. We have 51 cards.
Yes.
We got to talk about the console because I don't think anyone guessed that this console would show up at top tables, let alone win Worlds. Why are we on Bling?
Well, I would say it's similar to how some multilists were on Anakin before the rotation. And Bling fills a similar kind of role as a mass draw console, but of course it's in faction rather than having to splash for it. And we have so many triggers between symbol chips, gourmands, gachapons, price, of course. So it fills that role really well, lets us set up really quickly, which is important in certain matchups. Yeah.
Okay, so it's JNet Casual. It's 1 week from now. This deck list is on NetRunnerDB.
Yeah.
What is your big advice for players who are picking this up? Because it's a 51 card. Like, people have seen, archetypes like this, the sort of mulch-like archetype. Do you have broad advice that you might be able to translate to our viewers?
Make the corp uncomfortable, right?
Okay.
Do what they don't want you to do. So know what your opponent wants to do and try to stop that, destroy whatever they want to do. That's the key.
Yeah. I imagine sitting across from damage, tag, asset, the AUCO matchup.
Yeah.
That feels like a good matchup.
Yeah, decent matchup,
Okay.
at least. I would rather sit against Glacier.
You think
like
so?
LEO, yeah, LEO or RH. I beat 3 RH on the way here.
RH game on
very
stream
easy.
was so good. It was just like the most fun Netrunner I think I've seen in a long time. It was really, really
That's
good.
very nice to hear. Yeah, yeah. So those kinds of matchups, the heavy Glacier, which is part of we really like that. I really like that. Like LEO looked like a big factor.
Yeah.
At Worlds, and this list had really good game into LEO. So that was a big part of it, even though I ended up playing like 1 LEO.
Yeah, that's strange. That's not what the expectation was, yeah.
Yeah, but RH, that was good. I didn't think it was would be that popular.
Yeah.
Even though it had some results. So that was a nice surprise, you might say.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this Epiphany list, again, it's something you enjoy. We saw at the showdown, it was like 70% win rate.
Yeah.
People were not prepared for it. They seemed like they were teched into assets.
Yeah.
And I think also a lot of people with, hopefully in a respectful way, they don't exactly know how to play into it because they haven't seen the combo lines. Like, I had the pleasure of playing against Minstrel early on Friday, and it's just like every turn, you got to stoke the embers off the top of the deck. Like, it's just getting away from you.
Yeah.
What would you recommend to the players who are trying to struggle to close games with Epiphany? I think that's one of the big talking points.
I mean, to me, it's like you have to push early with Epiphany to create those kinds of combo opportunities. So it's a lot about you want to trade agendas. You want to get up to that threat. Threat 4 for Starlit, threat 3 for Oppo, threat 2 for even the little public access plaza.
Yeah.
So push early to kind of force the runner into an awkward position, because that's when you can do these combo lines with Freedom Information and Hollow Man and everything.
Yeah, very cool. I think that's such an exciting deck, and I know it's such a high skill level deck. I'm excited that brought you such success today.
Yeah.
I think champ cards are a thing. Have you considered this yet?
No.
You've had 10 minutes so far to figure out your champ card.
Yeah, no thought.
That's no worries. What do you think you're going to do tonight? Do you have plans?
No.
Have they been changed so far?
No, I could only look one game ahead.
That's good.
So I have no plans at all. It's just it's crazy.
I think that's really good tournament advice. The one game ahead. That'll get
one
you,
game ahead.
That's all you need to worry about is just one game at a time.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining us. Do you have any shout-outs you want to make on stream?
I would like to shout out Council, who is the mastermind behind both of these decks that I played the Worlds. So that's a big person, and they really helped me hone my game as well.
Super cool. That's a very, very good Netrunner player to be testing with. That's phenomenal. And with that, hey, speaking of shoutouts, I think we're just going to wrap up the stream here. It's been a fantastic weekend. We've been here for 3 days. It's been, again, nearly 400 people. It's easily 400 people here at the Dovecot Studios in Edinburgh to bring this Worlds together, whether it's people coming out to play, whether you're watching online, and of course, all the volunteers here. Shout out to Cat on production. It's been such a great weekend, and it takes an absolute village to make these things just as great as they are. So on that note, on behalf of No Signal Games, thanks so much for watching. We'll be hopefully at another Worlds in just about a year, and it's going to be a fantastic thing that I don't think you want to miss. With that, we're going to be signing out. This is Netrunner 2025 World Championship in Edinburgh. Congrats again.
Thank you.